The Art Beat, a weekly program putting you in touch with artists and arts events from the J.T. and Margaret Talkington College of Visual and Performing Arts at Texas Tech University. Hello and welcome to the Art Beat on KLZK FM 105.7, coming to you from the Talkington College of Visual and Performing Arts at Texas Tech University. I'm your host, Peter Martins, happy to be with you as always, and happy this week to be speaking with Director of Jazz Studies from the School of Music at Texas Tech, Stephen Jones.
Hey, Peter, thanks for having me.
You bet. Thanks for being here. And Stephen is part of our kind of cavalcade of guests this fall who are associated with travel and exchanges with an institution down in Mexico City, CENART. It's basically the National Center for the Arts in Mexico, and we first heard about that a couple weeks ago with Joe Arredondo from the School of Art. To give you a little bit more of a picture of this place that Steve and I have both visited already, it's kind of like if you took the College of Architecture and the Talkington College of Visual and Performing Arts at Texas Tech and made a university or an institution out of those two entities. That's and I think there's maybe some design in there too, so we'd have to pull in some human sciences. That's the composition of this school, this institution down in Mexico City, and it's really the premier place for the arts and architecture in terms of performances and gallery spaces and such. And so we've been really thrilled at a partnership that's really been forged by our Dean Martin Camacho to have quite a few of our personnel from the Talkington College go back and forth, even starting before this fall, but really with a good regularity this fall. So with that preamble, Steve, what are you doing and taking down to Mexico City?
Well, we will be performing at this year's Festival Eurojazz 2025. It is hosted by CENART, and that is the performance venue. And it is the largest jazz festival in Latin America and one of the largest in the hemisphere. We're going to be taking down the Jazz Orchestra, which is the top large jazz ensemble, the premier large jazz ensemble of the program here at Texas Tech, and also the Faculty Jazz Sextet. And that's going to not only include me, but it's going to include Professor Ben Hoagland, Professor Kevin Whalen, Professor Fabio Augustinus, Professor Jim Decker on trombone, and also our latest addition to the faculty, Dustin Pedigo on bass.
Great. Okay.
So we have a bona fide full-time faculty jazz sextet that is also going to be premiered alongside the jazz orchestra.
Great. So it's an American or a couple American jazz groups playing in Mexico City at a Euro Jazz Festival. This sounds very international.
Yeah, it is very international. I'm not sure where the name came from, but it's a long-running jazz festival in Mexico City. It's also free and open to the public, which is important, and that's great. And from what I understand, I haven't been yet, but from what I understand, the attendance is very high.
Yes. Well, and you've, as I have seen some of the performance spaces there, and they're kind of worth the trip just for the spaces in my memory.
We're going to be performing outdoors.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, but it's in a large grassy area outside the School of Music, adjacent to it. But it's a beautiful grounds. It's immaculately kept, the landscaping and just the outdoor atmosphere. It's a gorgeous place to sit on the grass with a blanket or a chair and listen to some music.
And it is a proper performance space, right? There's a stage and
yes,
all that
we're going to
stuff,
have there'll be a stage set up. It'll be much like you would see at an outdoor festival.
Sure.
It's going to be a covered stage with scaffolding and a cover over the top, lights, professional sound system. I've already been in touch with and communicating with their tech people down there who are fantastic. They're pros. They know what they're doing. So it's going to be great.
Good. Well, we'll knock on wood for good weather for you. When exactly do you head down there?
Well, we are going to head down there. Our performance is on Saturday, the 15th of November. And at 5 p.m., if anybody happens to be in the neighborhood
right,
and would like to stop by and see us, it'll be at 5 p.m. And we're going to be heading down the morning before on the 14th. And so we'll have a day of travel, we'll have a day of performance, and then Sunday we're going to have a day of a cultural immersion, see some of the pyramids, some of the ancient cultural sites in the region, and then be heading back on Monday.
Oh, great. Great. So yeah, people should get there, right? Tickets down there, I think, from Dallas are pretty cheap right now.
Are they?
So,
I haven't looked at the prices. The school's paying for mine.
Sure. Right. Okay, so in preparation for this trip that's happening kind of middle of the month there, what's happening on campus leading up to that?
Well, we have our regular rehearsals. With the jazz orchestra, and the faculty group, really, what the kind of performance we're going to be presenting is going to highlight the influence of Latin music on American big band and small group jazz. So we're going to be playing a lot of Latin-flavored numbers in a uniquely American jazz format, but highlighting the heavy influence that music from Latin America has had, not only from South America, but Afro-Cuban, the Caribbean, Central America. We all know how huge the influence is and how far back it goes, all the way to Dizzy Gillespie and some of the artists going back to the 40s and 50s.
So are there any performances that the public can catch to hear this repertoire either before your trip or after your trip?
The Jazz Orchestra will be doing a send-off concert on the 12th of November here at the School of Music in Hemley.
Great.
At 7:30 p.m. And that will be the Jazz Orchestra performing a portion of the program that we're going to be performing in Mexico. And also it's going to highlight the Jazz Ensemble, which is our other large jazz ensemble other large jazz group that we have here at Tech.
Great. Okay, so you'll get them into peak shape for that performance, and then what? Two mornings later, you'll head out.
2 mornings later, we head right out. Yep.
Okay. All right. Good deal. So, what are the components of cultural exchange here? I know we're talking about you taking your students down there and playing, right, performing for whatever audience you encounter down there. What are the other things built into the trip that may allow for a little bit, maybe a little less formal back and forth with some of the students or people down there?
Well, we're going to be doing a series of clinics and workshops while we're down there as well.
Okay.
Probably the morning of. We're still working that out, but probably the morning before our performance, the faculty are going to go over to CENART and present a series of clinics and workshops for students at the school there.
Oh, great. Okay. Pack that all into just a few days.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So we talked with Joe Redondo a little bit a couple of weeks ago about the logistics of getting things for display in the gallery, right? The artwork's down there. I have to imagine that getting the instruments for a decent size jazz orchestra and smaller combo down there is no mean feat either. How does that all work out? Do you just buy new, really robust cases for everything, or?
Well, we're doing some of that actually. We are buying some flight cases for some of our larger instruments. Most of the students that carry smaller instruments are going to be bringing those as carry-on, and the things that we can't bring with us, we're going to be borrowing from down there. And so there is a conservatory there. There's it's one of the major music schools in the country, and so they have a supply of instruments for us to use. They also have corporate partnerships with companies like Yamaha that can also help provide some gear. So things like drum sets, amplifiers, obviously stands and platforms and things like that are going to be provided, as well as all the live sound reinforcement, microphones, PA system, lights, all that stuff they're going to have. So we're not going to have to bring any of that.
You don't have to bring the piano or anything.
No,
okay,
no. I actually, when we were down there talking to the stage and technical crew, there was a representative from Yamaha at the offices at CENART that day, and she said, "Well, we'll make sure you have a C5 on stage." So that's a Yamaha grand piano.
Gotcha. All right. So Ben and the pianist and the student ensemble will be very happy. It sounds like.
Yeah, we're not gonna show up and find a Rhodes from 1973. A Fender Rhodes,
which could be great for some
purposes. Which could
be
cool,
right?
but depending on what kind of shape it's in. No, it's gonna be. They have top of the line gear there, and I've already talked to their sound and lighting people and stage crew, and they are all top professionals in the field. We're in good hands.
Great. So why don't you just run down for the audience? Many of us are probably familiar with this, but what is a jazz orchestra at this point in time, or a standard jazz ensemble consist of as far as instrumentation?
Well, the personnel of the jazz orchestra this semester, we've got 5 saxophones, 5 trombones, 5 trumpets, 4 to 5 rhythm section playing at any given time: piano, bass, drums, guitar,
Okay.
and then usually one other auxiliary percussionist. Especially with the Latin stuff, we're going to have some auxiliary hand percussion, hand drums, and
Timbales.
well, we might, yeah,
Okay.
and cabasa, tambourine, that kind of stuff.
Sure. Okay.
Congos.
Sure. Okay. So in that same vein, saxophonists, the 5 saxophonists typically are divvied up into 2 altos, 2 tenors, and a bari sax.
That's right.
Does that hold in the Latin influenced repertoire as well, or do they have to do a lot of doubling on other
It
woodwind
does.
instruments?
We're going to have some doubling.
Okay.
We're going to have the altos are both going to be doubling on soprano and flute. The tenors are going to be doubling on flute. The bari is going to be doubling on flute.
Wow.
And
okay.
Also one of the tenors are going to be doubling on clarinet. So we're going to have the doubles are going to go in their suitcase, and then they're going to bring their big saxophone as a carry-on. So yeah, we'll manage it. We're actually buying some cases that are what sometimes they call them multi-packs or tri-packs,
Sure.
where they can fit all of those things into one case.
Specifically for the type of musician that has to go around and wear different hats, maybe even during the same show or same gig or whatever. Yeah,
exactly.
All right. Any of your saxophonists a little worried about that? Are they kind of dusting off their flutes or scraping the rust off of a clarinet?
They're I wouldn't say they're worried about it. We often perform and program music throughout the course of each semester that has doubles. For saxophone players, it's kind of an expected thing nowadays that you're at least going to have some basic doubling skills on flute and clarinet at the minimum. Obviously, soprano is a given. Any one of them should be able to pick up a soprano sax and play that.
Sure. The fingerings are the same anyway.
The fingerings are the same. And and they're similar on the other woodwinds. They're not totally different. But the main difference is as we know, is in the kind of airstream that you use, and the type of embouchure for each one of them is different. So, but since we regularly program and perform music that requires doubling of the saxophone section, it's kind of become an expected skill nowadays. So
even at the collegiate level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. Well, that's great. And you're giving these students some, I think, real world job experience, right, where they can go out and play multiple instruments with confidence once they get out of school.
Yeah.
Great. So then the faculty combo, you kind of ran down the personnel. It's a sextet, is that right?
Yeah, it's a sextet. Kevin Whalen is playing trumpet. I'm playing saxophone. Jim Decker is playing trombone. And then we've got Ben Hoagland on piano, Dustin Pedigo on bass, and Fabio Augustinus on drums.
All right. Now, which is your saxophone of preference?
It's
usually?
tenor. It's tenor.
You're a tenor guy.
It's tenor.
All right.
And some soprano second.
Okay.
Yep.
Just leave the alto for other.
When I was more of a jobbing musician before I got into teaching, I was an itinerant jobbing musician before I got into teaching, and I played a lot more doubles then than I do now.
Interesting. So. Okay. All right. And thanks for giving us a glimpse into your past history. You've been at Texas Tech now. You're a full professor, and you've been here since, help me out,
2009.
2009.
So I'm in my 17th year.
Great. All right. So that speaks to, I think, some of the stability and growth of the jazz program in general during your time here. It's been some great.
I can't claim credit for all of it. I've had some help.
Sure.
But it's been great to see. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's been some great funding support that's come from the community, and it seems like it's a going concern, as my grandmother might say.
Yep,
yes.
That's right. That's right. And like I said, I don't claim to be solely responsible for any of that growth that's happened over the last 16 years. This has very much been a group effort.
Well, great, and it's wonderful to see. It's especially wonderful to listen to, I have to say. I love your concerts and seeing you play around town. The Jazz in January event, for instance, that Friends of Music puts on is always a good show. So with that, I'm afraid we're out of time. I'm going to have to say goodbye to Steve Jones, who is the Director of Jazz Studies at Texas Tech, and wish you bon voyage and have a great couple of shows and interactions down in Mexico City.
All right, we'll see you when we get back.
Thanks. Bye-bye. The Art Beat, a weekly program putting you in touch with artists and arts events from the J.T. and Margaret Talkington College of Visual and Performing Arts at Texas Tech University.